All right, well, it's time to talk about water safety as it's the holiday week and the 4th of July is just a few days away. So we have Mike Morrill and Tim Waddle here from Floaties Swim School. You're the owner and you're a corporate trainer.
Yes.
So you know everything and all about teaching kids to swim.
We hope so, we hope so.
We were showing this video earlier of this young child, I think like 16 months old, swimming in the pool. And the parents are right there taking photos, but actually quite good.
Well, at a very young age, they can really adapt to the water quite well. And, you know, matter of fact, your own Heather Meyer's son, Crew, has been swimming with me for quite a while, and he's quite the fish now.
I know, and the younger brother on the way, huh?
Because he's next in line.
He's getting up to the age where he can start to do that. So again, just to mention right off the top, we have a 10% off the first series of lessons if you mention San Diego Living, and we'll talk more about what you guys can do. But safety tips, how long, because people sometimes have trouble conceiving, how long does it take for somebody to possibly drown? You know, if you turn around and you're not looking.
You know, it can take up to seconds. If they haven't developed their breath control, the minute they hit that water, they start ingesting that water. And you can have a really serious incident within 3 to 5 seconds of that kid going underwater.
And it's not like in the movies where they're flailing, help, you know.
No. We call it a silent killer. Most of the time, people don't notice a kid drowning. They slip right under the water and they go right down. So that's why it's so scary, is that, yeah, there's not loud screams, there's not big splashes, it's not something that's very noticeable.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the tips that people should keep in mind. The first one, never swim alone.
Never swim alone. You know, this weekend and this week coming up with the holidays and everything, it's all parties and barbecues and hundreds of people in your backyard, but nobody's watching the kids actually. So swimming alone has to do with having someone on deck always observing the pool and making sure that there's always a set of eyes watching you swim.
Okay, and then also protective footwear for rough surfaces and people swimming out too far. Sometimes, you know, you've been out there before, I'm sure, and you start to drift and go further than you think when you're out off the beach.
Correct, and then all those are for like beach swimming and stuff of that nature. If you're going to go out into the ocean this week, you know, make sure you're in front of a lifeguard, make sure you have the right protective gear on, and make sure that you're staying where a lifeguard and a tower can see you and you're not going too far off the beaten path. Getting out there too far.
Very good. And don't pretend to drown, because some people do that and then you don't believe them next time.
Right. You know, never fake it. The lifeguards are doing a serious job. It's really busy out there. They don't have time for games, so don't play games when it comes to safety. Okay,
so let's talk about some of the lessons and how early you can start to teach kids, because it's, I would think, really? You know?
Well, we start as early as 3 months, and we always say the earlier the better. The earlier you start, the less fear you have to deal with. And then going back to your previous question, with that breath control, they can start to learn to hold their breath at a very early age, so that if there is an incident, it gives you extra time to run over there and grab them in the pool, so they're not drinking that water.
So you really have professionals who they know all the ins and outs of teaching an infant, basically.
You know, we have a very specific program that starts them young, and our trainers have all been working with the kids for a long time. You know, they're not your typical high school kid just for a summer job. These people all take this very serious and they do it for a living. Okay, now let's talk about around the pool too, because you want layers of safety and sometimes one isn't enough. No, there's a couple of different ones you need. The pool fences, the gates that surround your pool, those are really important. And then, you know, there's alarms you can have, and we have a thing called the whistle watcher, where someone's always wearing the band of protection, so that they're the ones that are in charge of watching on the pool at that time. And if you have to go to the restroom, then you hand it off to somebody else. It looks like we're at the pool right now, actually. If you look that's our pool. That's our gorgeous pool. Okay, and then you have a calendar contest. Tell me about that.
We are right now getting our clients involved with, they can enter their kids by hashtagging them MyFloatiesKid, and then everybody can vote on the kids. And then we're taking the top 12 and compiling it into a calendar, and then all the proceeds of selling that calendar we're donating to Abby's Hope Foundation. Okay, talk quickly about Abby's Hope, because this was really a disturbing story. This Minnesota girl was disemboweled by a faulty drain. Yeah, it was in 2007, and she was in a kiddie pool, and the pool was not up to code, and it ripped out her small intestine. And she lived for about a year, and then she passed away, and her family has turned that tragedy into this great foundation about raising awareness for safe pools, safe kids, and their mission is, you know, safer pools, safer kids. So they want swimming to be a positive experience. All right, so once again, 10% off the first series of lessons if you mention San Diego Living out there, so don't forget, locations in Poway and Eastlake. So you have no excuse. You got to teach the kids how to swim. All right. Floaties Swim School, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
For more information, go to san diego6.com and click San Diego Living.